Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Qin the Unifier, where we're playing the tall game. Well, the tall game that got a little bit wider than we had planned. It has been a few days since I've played this save file, mostly just due to the fact that I got kind of caught up doing that Qin the Unifier challenge that came out a few days ago. It's a good few days ago now that it probably came out. Yeah, I mean, I was literally going to start releasing the first episode of this series, and then like Bo's challenge video came out literally an hour before. And then I was like, well, you know, I can't do that. I can't not, you know, do the challenge now. I got to do the challenge. And so we did. And it was pretty successful. I'm pretty proud of it. You know, it went really, really well. So I think our goal here is to mostly maintain the path. We are going for a science victory, of course. A science victory with a good culture base. That is our goal. And I would say that we have a good culture base, considering we're culturally ahead of the majority of the players in the game. And it's really nice to not have to care about the zombie mode. Now, we just picked up the Chancery in the capital, which is going to give us +3 influence points per turn, which is a nice +10 influence. We would like to pick up the market so that we can get an extra trade route. However, are there other things that are of a higher priority? It would be really nice to get the intelligence agency. I think I'm going to go market into intelligence agency because that extra trade route would be very, very valuable. If we're looking at the city of Kerma, this city mostly exists as a border city, right? It's a defensive border city. It doesn't make much science. It doesn't make much of anything really. Well, it does have a campus, but one of the big things that we're running into now is a lack of amenities in my empire. So I'm going to have to prioritize getting my hands on entertainment complexes across my empire. So I'm going to be placing those down with a priority to try to up the total amount of amenities that are in my empire so that I can kind of focus getting the amenities into these cities. Now, I'm also going to be starting to think a little bit about things like national parks. And I think there's actually a couple of decent national park locations over here. If I shuffle these around, like I could make a national park out of this horse tile. Let's just hypothetically, we lay out a national park right here. Now, important thing about a national park, has to be 4 tiles, all owned by the same city, at least before you place it. And then I guess there could also be a nice national park right here. Now, the huge value of a national park is, I believe, national parks give 2 amenities to the city they're hosted in, and then +1 amenity to the 4 nearest cities. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably, you know, they just add a lot of amenities. Adding a lot of amenities to my empire would be quite nice. So this would be in total +10 amenities if I could get these up. And then, you know, then there's also ski resorts, which would further increase my amenities. One thing that I need to think about is buy those luxuries that I don't have access to and sell off luxuries that I do have access to. We have got a water park in Wuhan, so getting the Ferris wheel up seems like it would be a pretty damn valuable thing to do. I wonder, can I pick up a little bit of extra gold by maybe selling off a little bit of Diplo favor? Boom. And then can I come in here and buy the Ferris wheel, +2 amenities? Now we're up to +5 ecstatic cities. Excellent. And I guess I will hard build the aquarium. This will add +1 bonus amenity to all cities within 8 tiles, I think it was. Is it? 9 tiles. So if we get out our little rangefinder here with the city overlap and we set the range to 9, this little bad boy right here is actually going to hit 7 cities. So that's going to be 7 amenities from the aquarium, which is pretty damn nice. And the reason we want the amenities high is so that these cities right here, they maintain that +20% science and +20% all yields really from amenities, which is kind of really what's carrying us in this particular game. I can't wait to get conservation because it's really going to change my empire. But mostly we've kind of set up what we're going to be doing this episode, so we shall just be keep on and keeping on. Probably could chop here and then play some mine, especially because that'll get us the entertainment complex slightly faster. Chopping is always valuable. Honestly, if there was one thing I could change about the psychology of the Civ community, I wish that instead of them being like, oh, I should chop when it makes sense. No, literally chop all of the time. Like, it is literally always optimal to chop. That is the approach you should take, and then you should take some time to learn when it's not optimal to chop. So we definitely want to get ourselves some great works of writing, and we want to get more relics and artifacts. Let me take a little bit of a review. Yeah, we've got all our great work slots maxed out, so there's not really much we can do there. So I'm mostly just looking and waiting until I get my archaeological museums up. We do have natural history, so that's one thing to consider. Is we should check and see. Yeah, that's going to be another goal this episode, is to get those natural history museums up. I need to get like a zombie down here. Well, it depends on if he decides to attack or not. He shouldn't really decide to attack. I am spamming out builders here, and I think that's fine to do. The zombies don't attack builders, so you could just like send them off towards them just willy-nilly. So the world enters into the industrial era, and we will be entering in a dark age. However, this does give us the opportunity to potentially get a heroic age, depending on how we play here. And a really big moment for us is getting access to chemistry, and by proxy, the research lab. The research lab is an incredibly important building, to the point where, at least in the cities where I feel like it will make sense, they will be prioritized to an extremely high degree. I will of course allow the coal power plant and stuff to finish, but where a research lab is available, I am going to super prioritize them. They're not available in here. I guess I could purchase the university, but I won't do that. So why are research labs so important and useful? Well, first reason is because Albert Einstein can boost them to get an extra +4 science, and we are on track to get Albert Einstein. The second reason is that they're just really damn good buildings, right? Look at that, +6 science, +5 when it's powered, which is why I'm building the coal power plant. So it's 11 science on its own. Just baseline, 11 science for the city, and that will go through the multipliers. It'll get an extra 55% once I have all my amenity modifiers churning away. I think I just lost access to some luxuries. I did. Let me go ahead and buy them back. The other thing is the research lab scales incredibly well off of city-states, and there are 4 city-states, which means there's a potential 3, 6, 9 more science that I can get from my research labs, and another 4 from Albert Einstein. So that's 14 more science. That'd be a 25 science building before modifiers. And the most important part of a research lab is the citizen yield +1 science. Now, for those of you who don't know how citizen yields work, it's actually fairly straightforward. If I come into the technology or into the encyclopedia here, we can look at the campus. Now, the campus has a very important stat down here that says citizen yield per citizen +2 science. That is how much science you get from the campus for working the campus tile. Yes, the campus tile is actually a tile that you can work. You can see here, it has 0 out of 2 population in it. And when I click on it, you can see my science goes up ever so slightly, and I can put up to 2 people in that building. Now, how do you actually get slots into this district? Well, when you build the campus, you get the citizen yield, but you don't have any slots in it. When you build the library, you get +1 citizen slot, which will allow you to put 1 citizen into the campus. And I think I can demonstrate this using the city of Kerma. You can see here, Kerma only has 1 citizen slot. So there's 2 states, either 1 person in it or no people in it. And that gets you +2 science, which means if I have, baseline, like if we take a moment here to look at it, a baseline library is +2 science, I believe. Yeah, that's the baseline science. I should be getting way more though. Why is that not reflecting? Yeah, we're getting +6 from this library, but the baseline science is +2. However, what you don't see there is that +1 citizen slot is an opportunity for you to trade a workable tile, like this 2 food tile right here, for +2 science. Like, which would you rather be working? Which means the actual total potential output of a library is 4 science. But let's kind of focus in on the citizen thing. So with a library, if you work the citizen tile, you can get +2 science. If you have a university, you can put 2 citizens in there, and you can get up to +4 science. From these 2 tiles. I think if I hover over it, it'll actually say that. Yeah, specialists +4. So the maximum potential of specialists is 2 at a library at a price of 1 worker, 4 at a university at a price of 2 workers, and then the really key piece of information here when you go to the research lab is +1 citizen yield, right? Now, not only do you get the citizen slot, you also get the +1 science per citizen slot. That means you go from 2 at a library, 4 at a university, to 9 at a research lab, because 3 citizens producing 3 science each produce 9, which means the efficiency of fully working a campus more than doubles when you get to research lab. And when you're at that point, the greatest roadblock, once you have research labs, the greatest roadblock for your game is getting through the tech tree into the important technology. So at that point, you don't care about work in production, you don't care about work in food, you just want to maximize your food, or maximize your science rather. And that is why the research lab is such an incredibly important and game-changing building for the mid and the late game. I decided to take Heartbeat of Steam there because it's +1 era score for each industrial or later building constructed, and we are in fact making our way towards flight. Are we making our way towards flight? Yeah, we're making our way towards flight because we want to get rocketry, and flight is required for rocketry. Are there any side techs that we really want to pick up here? I don't really need printing, I don't need siege tactics, these are all 1 turnables. Yeah, we just need to get the rocketry so we can start building our spaceport. We should probably start saving gold and promoting Reina. That's going to be an important part of our growth forward, which is why we're building the intelligence agency. We're going to start working on those promotions. I've got another promotion here that's 1, 2, and 3. So we should see Reina get all the way up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can see her get all the way up, and then we'll be able to buy the spaceport and start working spaceport projects immediately. Now, the city of Kawa has built a bunch of builders. Let's go ahead and build a sewer, because we do need to build 4 of those sewers in order to boost suffrage. And this city has maxed out its housing, which means it's maxed out its population at its current moment in time. We would also like to build a neighborhood in this city, but we haven't quite unlocked neighborhoods yet. So we'll have to play that a little bit by ear. And I'm starting to build lumber mills. How long until I get conservation? I guess I can make do with just chopping at this point, because I'm going to get lumber mills soon. So I'm just going to start like locusting and destroying the entire landscape. So I heard a barb camp appear. They're inside my city. Should be a fairly straightforward to deal with them. Boom, boom, 2 shots. And that will make zombies stronger, of course. We have Li Ling in my capital. That was from building the intelligence agency. Ideally, I would like to steal money or science. Walata seems like the perfect place to do both, so I shall send them to Walata. Do a little bit of chopping in order to get through our productivity. Another builder has popped out. Excellent. And we're already working on those research labs. Very, very nice. So there's flight. Flight isn't particularly interesting or useful for this particular game. However, it is a decent technology most of the time. There's still a huge, massive religious battle happening inside my territory between Christianity and Islam. But we did just manage to pick up electricity for the first time. So the power plant is complete, and we are now powering our empire. You can see the green is where the power plant is located and is the power source, I believe. The green, this is the power source. The green is a city that is powered, which actually potentially tells me that I might need to settle another city. Oh, no, never mind. I don't need to do that. Konya is blocking. But yeah, if you look in the circle, the yellow circle, that is all the cities that are powered. So we miss out on Kawa, Aden, and Kerma, but basically every other city is powered. So things like research labs, things like coal power plants, all that stuff, that'll all get juiced up. We're going to go ahead and get the arena in here now. If you get an entertainment complex and an arena, that's +3 amenities in that city. So that's really, really powerful. And then I would like you to pick up a sewer. How long? Yeah, you've plenty of time to pick up the sewer. I want the sewer partially for the housing, but also partially because I want the boost. So now that nationalism has been boosted, and we're probably not going to benefit from retainers for much longer, I'm going to get these guys all in a central location. And I hate to spend my money like this, but I'm going to turn them into an army for the era score boost. And plus, the Scorched Earth can also get boosted here. So Reina is the most important person for me to level up. I'm going to take Forestry Management and Tax Collector on her. And then I'll take Contractor. And then I will shift her into the capital when the time comes to build the spaceport. So let's double check. My capital has too many tiles. Basically, cities can't actually work tiles that are beyond the 3rd ring. And if I press 9 here in the Empire mode, you could see 1, 2, 3. My capital owns these 5 or 6 tiles that are outside its 3rd ring. So there's no point in my capital owning these because it can't actually work them. Something to keep in mind in your games. Looks like a zombie spawned over here. Let's go ahead and convert just to save time. Makes my life easier. You'll become a field cannon. Ooh, I paid a lot for that field cannon. We will add you together, and then I want you... Oh, right. I need to get to mobilization before I can do that. So we will go for urbanization, into conservation, into mobilization, into mass media, into ideology, into democracy, into capitalism. That is the pathway. The reason for that pathway is pretty simple. We want to get the conservation so that we can make naturalists. We also want the envoys. We want to be able to plant woods. So that's kind of our next goal that we can get to relatively quickly. Then we need to pick up Scorched Earth and mobilization for era score. Then we need to hit mass media and ideology in order to get to suffrage. And then we want to backfill for capitalism so that we can get the shopping mall, because these are worth 2 amenities, and also they have a couple of nice cards here. And we want to be in democracy because it makes our trade routes internationally much stronger and our gold purchasing quite a bit cheaper. And since we do plan on gold purchasing a spaceport in the near future, perhaps that would be a valuable thing to do. Mostly our goal is to save the money and try to steal a little bit of cash. We got the sewer in Kama, which will allow the city to continue to grow. If I'm looking at the city again, it's going to want an entertainment complex in order to keep my amenity flow really strong. And then beyond that, I think a commercial hub does kind of make rational sense to keep my economy quite strong. But more or less, I just want to get the entertainment complex, Bandar Brunei. I could put a point in you. I have 3 envoys that I'm sitting on. Let's go to maximum level with Bologna so that we can keep our science per turn skyrocketing as these research labs start to come online. These 4 research labs are the most important ones. These kind of like these 2 out here are less important. I mean, they're still useful. And I know I have shattered the illusion of this being a what you call it game. I know I've shattered the illusion of this being a tall game. I mean, it still is technically a tall game in my opinion, because these outer cities, they're not really doing much except for like supporting the inner city slightly, because like, I mean, look at the yields in here. The city, it's making, 1 science. The city is making like 2 culture. The city is making like 7 culture. Like, they're really not impactful. I mean, when you look at this city, right? 130, 63, 40, 35, 32, 21. These cities, these core cities, these are the real winners, which I think kind of makes this, even if it doesn't qualify as a tall game in spirit, or rather, even if it doesn't qualify for a tall game like facts on the ground because of the number of cities that I have, I acquired most of these cities passively through having big cities. So I feel like, people saw how cool my giant empire was and decided to join in. So we definitely want to get neighborhoods in Kawa, and I might actually prioritize the neighborhood in Kawa over anything else, because the city is really just lacking growth, and if I can get the city to continue to grow, we can do some really interesting things with it. And the same is true for a lot of these edge cities. We just have a lot of things we need to get to. My spy is in Walata. I will gain sources so that the spy operates at a higher level, so that we have a higher success chance when stealing money. And we want to steal money from the AI because the AI gets an 80% boost to its cash income, which means stealing money is the most efficient mission you can do against it. I know people were saying in the Wu Zheishan gameplay, oh, you should steal text because your text stealing is worth more and you have extra spies and all that sort of stuff, and nothing compares to just stealing money, I am afraid. Especially if you're doing a culture game where stealing technology is not particularly important to your game plan. So we did just get the research lab in the capital, and now the important thing here, the reason why I talked about all of these campus points, is because now I can just click once on this button, and you can see if I click off this, right? If I tell the city to avoid signs, you can see it's 147 signs, right? That's a pretty respectable amount. If I click this twice and set it to max out, now it's getting 160 signs, as you can see here from population. Sorry, if I hover over this tile, you can see I'm getting 9 signs from specialists, and that will get multiplied by all the multipliers. So I'm actually getting 9 times 1.4, so we call it, I don't know, like 13.5 signs from there. That will go up again as I continue to get my amenities pumping. Let's go ahead and sell off some resources. Anyone want to buy coal, horses, or I'll sell off a little bit of Diplo favor. Yeah, 33 gold per turn. Perfect. Sell off a few of those resources just to keep the gold line strong. We're going to need a lot of gold. We're going to need a builder in here. Can I get I can get a really fast 2-turn builder. I also need to get my trade routes. I don't know what's happened to my trade routes. I think they were murdered. Yeah, I think maybe the trade routes I sent to the UK were kind of murdered. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend money on traders. I'm going to buy them up. They're a very important thing to have in order to grow my capital city. My capital really wants, and I mean really, really wants to build a neighborhood. Ideally something with like +5, but also I need to build, oh my God, have I even unlocked Broadway yet? Where's Broadway? Yeah, I need to get Broadway built. So my capital's just going to be like super busy. I don't even think I can justify building a builder, because 2 turns of production in the city is like forever, basically. It's forever. So if I were to get a neighborhood, I would really like a +5. I will take a +4, but I really want a +5. Yeah, +4 will just have to be what I settle for, unfortunately. That'll allow me to continue to grow that city. Handan, you got your monument. Let's get your granary and your watermill. So there's mass media. It has been boosted. We can go ahead and reclaim these zombies to keep things nice and clean and build you that little mine right there. You're fortifying. We've got some trade routes we want to organize by gold and send them to Bristol. These will take quite a bit of time to pay off in terms of the actual gold cost of each of these trade routes. I think they were 400 gold each. So technically for the gold, it would take like 40 turns for them to pay off, but the food and production helps pay that off much quicker. Remember, production is worth about 4 gold. So as long as those trade routes can stay alive for a little while, they should pay themselves off. It is a little bit depressing that they got murdered so easily, but that is life. You cannot change things. Things happen, and that's what happened. Ooh, interesting opportunity here. I can maybe get a double convert and get myself a Desiven Provincian. I think I'm going to disperse this clan because get him out of here. I will claim this zombie and then claim this zombie. A lot of zombie spawners right now, which I'm okay with because I can mostly deal with it. All right, a couple of research labs are just about to finish. So I'm thinking we can probably fairly easily hit... Oh, my zombie got killed. Oh, well. I'm thinking we can probably fairly easily hit like 500 signs. I don't particularly care. Patch Acuity, grievances, and double great scientists would be based. Hey, double great scientists and grievances. So the double great scientists is brilliant because I earn so many points. And in the near future, once I have nuclear program, I could rush the nuclear program and get like an insane amount of great scientist points. It's not a completely untenable idea to rush for a nuclear program. We'll give it a shot. We just got the research lab in here, so we set the city to focus on science. Now it's up to 63 science per turn. We have our campus, we have our industrial zone. We have a commercial hub and a theatre square planned. Let's go ahead and see if we can get both of those just built. This city also needs a neighbourhood. +5 would be amazing, but I'll take a +4. There is a +4 right there. What's more important? Let's have a look. What's the food surplus here? We're getting minus 75% from being underhoused. I think growing the city is very valuable. Growth is always valuable. The earlier you can get it, the better. So if you're going to make a decision to grow, make it early. What have we got in here? Commercial hub and a campus. So let's get that entertainment complex down. We need the amenities. The amenities must remain strong. It's the most important part of my build is that I maintain really high amenities in as many cities as possible. It's one of the things that like enables tall builds. So one issue we have is that we're missing a governor title. So we'll need to be ready to move Reina into the capital, but we don't need to do that immediately. We don't want the food market. While that is really, really nice growth, the city already has a surplus of like 40 food. We could check that over here. Yeah, food surplus of 40, which means this city's going to grow really, really quickly, which is kind of why I think I might grab myself a sewer to allow it to continue to grow. Another +2 housing. If you check out the research lab in Wuhan, we can go ahead and tell the city to focus on science, and now it will crank out extra science here by working those city tiles. Then see, are you hard capped? You are a little bit hard capped on population, so we'll quickly grab a sewer for the +2 population that will allow. Yoink that zombie for free. And then in the city of Handan, we're going to grab both of these tiles. So we have to save up 7,000 gold. That's something I haven't explained yet. So we're going to start doing that now, is trading for gold ASAP. The more gold we can get right now, the better. There's Albert Einstein, perfectly timed Albert Einstein. It looks like what will happen here for the great scientists is what I would expect. Albert Einstein, Alan Turing, and Alfred Nobel are all going to get recruited basically instantaneously. Then my hope is that Mary Leakey is available so that I can get that nice big science boost. One of these science boosters, okay? So all three of these modern era great scientists are going to get recruited on the same turn. Then the atomic era great scientists are going to become available, but they'll be really, really, really expensive. And my hope is that I can crack my way through these and potentially get my hands on Carl Sagan. If I could get Sagan, that would be amazing. Stephanie Kwolek is also quite good. I also need to be keeping an eye out for Ya Boy. And by the way, this screen is like a better Great People screen. Ada Lovelace is on the cards right now, but I would like to potentially get my hands on Robert Goddard, Sergei Korolev, and Werner von Braun. Those are like the three big guys. So I think in the not too distant future, in the city of Jiaodong, once we have like commercial hub and theatre squares kind of built up to a reasonable level, probably archaeological, like market and archaeological museum, we're going to come down here and start pumping industrial projects to try and get our great people. Trade one zombie for two? Oh, no. Actually, it was one zombie for one zombie. That was not the play that I was making. So research lab in here, we can force work the research building. We definitely would like to grab a neighborhood in here. Housing blocked. +4 minimum. +4 is the minimum. So I'll grab a +4 right there. But for now, I'll grab the sewer to allow the city to continue to grow. Growth. And then we'll go ahead and get ourselves Albert Einstein. Pop in there. That's +4 science per research lab. We have a few of those. Chop. We got the watermill in here. And now we just need like a couple of builders, because once we have conservation, we'll need to retool this landscape to be something a little bit more appropriate for national parks. And we'll also want to buy national parks. So we're kind of looking like we're in the direction we need to go. We're going to need more builders. That's going to be something we need. A lot of these edge cities will need their tiles reworked, and a lot of these cities might need their tiles reworked as well. +2 era score from rocketry. Perfect. So I need to have 7,200 gold in order to buy the spaceport. I don't have that yet. I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, Qin the Unifier was targeted by this. I'm going to step you forward and claim both of these boats. Those are free boats. Now, the key thing for me to do is to go back through my tech tree and research all of the technologies I can get in one turn. And the reason for that is the biggest bottleneck for getting through the technology tree in the late game is how quickly you can research each technology. And if you can research a technology in one turn, that's the minimum amount of time. So by spending some time researching one-turn technologies, I give myself potentially to be in a position to bring down the number of turns on these technologies to 3 or 2 turns, depending, right? Which will lower the total amount of time I spend researching each of these technologies. Right now, the hardest barrier that we have towards winning the game is meeting the science check. And when I say science check, I mean it's quite literally like the game is doing like a skill check, and the skill it's checking is how much science per turn you are generating. That is the key piece of information that will dictate not whether or not we win, because I feel like it's pretty guaranteed that we win, but it'll dictate how quickly we win. Because I feel like that my victory is all but assured at this moment. I don't think anyone's particularly close to any other type of victory, and I'm very clearly leading in the science victory, owing to the fact that I'm only 2 technologies behind the Ottomans, but I have like nearly a third more science than them. Another great writer is actually an amazing opportunity for my civilization, again, because the amount of science that we get from our great works of writing is fantastic. We also do have an archaeological museum. It would be amazing to get the archaeological museum in the capital so that we can get archaeologists, but we have a ton of extra housing in here, which makes me very, very happy. We have the monument in East Fort. We don't need the sewer. We probably could do with a couple of builders. We're doing a little bit of repairs over here. And now we can go ahead and start stealing gold from Wallata. We'll steal about 1,000 gold every time we do this mission. We need another spy. Perhaps my capital could be the place to get the spy because it can get it in only 4 turns. I think I would prioritize that over an archaeological museum, even though archaeological museums do hold a lot of value. Sewer completed in Wuhan. We got +5 amenities. Double check the amenity screen. Make sure we buy the turtles. We got 8 out of 10 cities. Super happy. Then let's have a look. We could get the archaeological museum. We could get a bank. We could also go for builders if we wanted to improve our terrain. But I reckon the best thing on the cards for us is the archaeological museum, because this will increase our science and our culture, and we would like both of those things to be quite strong at the moment. In particular, we would really like our culture to go up, so getting those relationship up with Caguana is quite nice. +1 era score for the Civic from the next era. Go ahead and continue to protect my commercial hub. There's military science, which gives us access to the military academy, as well as conservation, which is a really big deal. Not only do we get the 3 envoys, we get access to building national parks, and we can now plant woods with our builders and build naturalists. All things that we were extremely excited about. We need to now start planting woods on every tile that is potentially adjacent to a national park. We want to have the maximum amount of appeal. We're also going to go ahead and faith buy a naturalist to get this first national park up, because remember, again, this represents +5 amenities in my empire, which is a huge amount of amenities. We got a nice neighborhood in Kawa. This city has a ton of headroom to grow. Do we want to change our government here? The only thing I might consider changing is triangular trade. Let me have a little bit of a look to see, is there anything that would fit in there slightly better? I mean, I could always fit this out, move liberalism up, and then we can kind of have more of an interesting conversation about it. I mean, we don't plan. I mean, autocratic legacy. Is there a card in my government that's available right now that's better than autocratic legacy? Technically, colonial taxes is really valuable. However, is that what I want? So this is 20 production and 26 gold. Those are pretty handy, but is the production where I need it? The gold is nice, but is the stuff that I'm getting from that where I need it? I mean, it's probably better than triangular trade at the very least, so that's become my new default. And now I need to find a card that's better than this. And I think in the current situation of the game, there is no card that's better than this, as it currently stands, unless my priority was more for science and culture and faith, which it might actually be. But even then, I think colonial taxes just wins out. And kind of interestingly, the vast majority of my empire, because I spawned on a continent split, is actually settled off of that. So, I didn't even realize that. So almost my entire empire is getting a 25% gold and production boost. That's actually huge. I should have had that plugged in a long time ago. That's just purely just down to me making a mistake in gameplay and not realizing how much value I would get from that card. It happens. It's part of life. Just the way the cookie crumbles. So we definitely need a farm triangle in Singapore to keep this city happy. And I think I'll make a nice little farm triangle right here. If you're going to go for extremely powerful tall cities, it's good to give them at least 1 farm triangle each, because a farm triangle is the most efficient configuration of farms relative to the total amount of space that it uses up. Because, you know, a single farm triangle here, this is worth 2 surplus food and 1 surplus production. Right, so we can get John Spilsbury, which is a toy manufacturer. That's an extra free amenity. I will take that. And then the other option is to get Chiu Ying. Of course, I don't have an art museum, so there's not much we can do on that front. My greatest weakness as a player is once I put a great person to sleep, they don't exist anymore. they just don't. Right, we got the sewer in Beijing. Have we built ourselves a neighborhood? We have not built a neighborhood in here. I think we placed one though. Yeah, we did. So we could get the neighborhood if we wanted to keep growing the city. We could also alternatively go for a bank or a broadcast center. It would be nice to get a broadcast center that's 6 culture, and the great people points I'm less enamored with. I don't think it's important for us to go for broadcast centers this game. I think I would much rather either get a bank or continue to go for neighborhoods, or potentially even to crank out an archaeologist, because that seems a lot more valuable for me, because this actually will provide science and culture. And so I think that's what we'll grab, and then we'll go from there. National Park. We shall place you right there. +4 era score from a national park as well. And we would like to, if we could, we would like to hit a heroic age. Let's start planting woods here. We're going to have a harder time getting the appeal here high because we've got a mine right there. We've got jungle right here. It's going to be a little bit of work. We can make it work, but it'll take some time. There's refining. We now have access to oil. Let's go ahead and swap both of these guys. Did we actually find oil? We did find oil over here, which is quite nice. We would like to get that improved because it's a valuable resource just in general. How's the appeal looking? This button right here. So we've got high appeal here, medium appeal here, and then fairly low appeal in these two tiles. So we'll have to keep working on that. It's a process. Let's clear this barb camp. It's on my border and being annoying. I need to get rid of this jungle tile. I need to get rid of this jungle tile. I need to delete this and put a woods here. You need to go through and improve that city as well. So we've managed to one-turn a whole bunch of techs. We'll grab steel, combustion. We'll one-turn computers because we can. And then we want to one-turn combustion if we can. You get to work on that entertainment complex that we plan to chop out. And entertainment complex next to national park is good because entertainment complex increases the appeal of tiles adjacent to it by +1. So it basically acts like a plantable forest, but it also gives me amenities, which is fantastic. We have 10 out of 10 cities with maxed out amenities, which means they're worth 20% more than they usually are. And we have 7 envoys, which means we can start to go to level 3 relationship with all of these guys, pumping us up to about 573 sites. It's actually really damn good pace. I would like to steal from the AI. I'm going to turn off the requirement of there being campuses because I'm mostly just looking for money. LPQY, 530, 63, boom. Looking for something in the 500-ish range. 500-ish range starts to look pretty good. So Nioro is a good city to steal money from. I feel like Mali has been in like literally every game I've played recently. I feel like Mali has been in every single China game I've played. I don't know if I'm crazy. Feels like it. Ooh, many zombie spawns down in Kawa. So we're going to have to send someone down here to try and deal with that. And we got the archaeological museum in Wuhan and a zombie did spawn over there. Can I quickly squeak out a cute little weak unit? No, line infantry would take a very long time. We'll get the archaeologist. A good job on the theater square, Xiaodong. We will quickly grab the amphitheater and the market because the amphitheater will allow us to place another 2 great works of writing. And we do have a great work of a great writer kind of waiting in the wings for that opportunity. I don't particularly need a zoo over here because I have a zoo over here, but we do want to just make sure we continue to build up the city of Aden. We could make a builder or 2. There's potential for another national park in this kind of an area, maybe, if we decide to put effort into it. We're going to get the arena. Arenas are worth +2 amenities. Very, very valuable on the amenity front. And amenities are kind of this weird thing that you got to keep building them because you're constantly using them up. They're constantly getting used up in your empire. So you got to stay on top of them. Let's get another naturalist. We do have now the appeal available in here to place a national park, which is good. We can actually start to delete these pins. National parks, man, I'm telling you, they're the key. National Park, let's go. It's me and Mario. We managed to steal 1,000 gold from Walata, which is filling up our coffers, which means it's time to grab Milady Reina and schlep her in to the capital city. And then we'll quickly schlep Pingala into into Xiaodong on a temporary basis. So she's just getting schlurped over into that city on a temporary basis for the purpose of purchasing a spaceporto. And in fact, I'm going to place the spaceport to make sure that that gets done. And then in the meantime, I have not researched Broadway. Okay, let's research Broadway. I've got 5 turns of my capital to do whatever I feel like. What would be the important thing for me to do? We can squeak out an archaeologist in 5 turns, which is the perfect thing to do. My spy has leveled up from stealing, takes no time to establish their presence. I will take that ability, that seems quite good. I just scratched my face and realized that I badly need a shave. It's been about a month. I don't know, am I the only person who's like that, where I'm just kind of like, I go by feel, you know? I don't necessarily look in the mirror and be like, oh, that's kind of long. I'm like, yeah, my beard's kind of uncomfortable and scratchy. I think it's time to get the razor out and just... This is how I roll. Not overly concerned with how I look, so I'm more concerned with how I feel. Everyone's always asking who is potato, but nobody's ever asking how is potato. But yeah, it's more, yeah, I don't know. That's just the way my cookie crumbles, is that I prefer to be comfortable over good looking. Hell yeah. Based. Any comfy people in the chat? Hot people can respond to. All right, we got a market. Let's go ahead and get the... we should probably buy traders, but we're saving for Reina, so we're going to hold off on that for a little while. We'll get the archaeological museum because it represents a pretty good advancement in our culture. We would like to get the arena, and then we'll get the research lab in here. Science is up to over 500 per turn. Excellent. We did dip slightly in science. Why is that? We didn't dip in amenities, so we just, I don't know. I guess there's a dip. There's a dip going around. Yeah, dip. Right, where does she stand with the arena? Arena is completed in Singapore. We could probably make do with getting a theatre square. Eventually, we're going to need to start spamming builders in order to send to the spaceport. We're not quite there yet, but we're kind of getting in the direction of that being the destination. We're on the way in that sort of a direction, you know. We're not there yet. We are getting there. I don't need you to siphon funds. I need you to gain sources so then you can siphon funds at a higher level, thus not suffering from any negative happiness. Okay, so archaeologists completed in Beijing. We have a bank on cards. So what would we actually need from the city in order to advance into the late game? Well, one thing that we could go for is another industrial zone to get our passive and great engineer points up. We could decide to start spamming builders and stuff like that. We could probably make do with getting an extra spy, actually. That would be pretty helpful to my civilization, is if I was able to get that 4th spy up. So that's what we'll work on. If you never know what to do with a city and you're kind of out of things to do, take a look at the top of your screen, right? Do you have enough spies? Do you have enough trade routes? These sort of empire-wide infrastructures are pretty important. So my city has hit 20 population. That was the city of Xi'an. We also just got mass media, so we do have access to Broadway, and we just got our first couple of archaeologists to pop out. We are going to go ahead and build the Broadway. It'll take 22 turns. The reason we're building Broadway is for the 20% culture in this city, which just, you know, big number feel good to monkey brain. Let's go ahead and excavate that. I guess we have ape brains, not monkey brains. Interesting thing. I wonder if killing an archaeologist can spawn a zombie. I'm pretty sure it can. I should probably get my hands on open borders. And the reason I went for archaeologists is for the combination of culture and science that I get from them. Just having lots of culture is quite good in a space race, in particular because we can get to this really, really important card over here called the International Space Agency, which can allow us to finish the technology tree extremely quickly. Mobilization into ideology feels amazing. We have archaeologist, we have commercial, we have campus, we have theatre square, and they're all built to the level that we need to build them to. So nothing else is required from us, except perhaps we will quickly do a dark signal in order to take control of the zombies. Let's take a Qin the Unifier artifact. We actually don't care about the artifacts themselves. We just mostly want culture from them. We no longer get amenities from our retainers, which is why I've switched my amenity economy to a different source. We probably can drop vessel banking for something else. I mean, I guess vessel banking is fine. Do we really need a production and food right now? I guess it's fine. It's fine. I suppose gold is always just a useful resource to have. Let's see if we can sell off some stuff for some raw gold, and we should be able to, on the turn of the century, use our governor title. Sorry, I was wondering why I couldn't buy it yet. It's because I hadn't given the thing to Reina yet. And now we have enough gold to come in here and buy ourselves a lovely spaceport. One turning a spaceport. How easy does it get? It doesn't get easier than that. And we don't have to immediately launch the Earth satellite. The thing we mostly care about is launching the moon landing, because one of the key things about the moon landing is that you get 10 times your science per turn as culture, which means we will get over 5,000 culture. And our goal is to try to use that 5,000 culture to propel ourselves into globalization. However, globalization is going to cost us 3,500 culture right now. So we're going to delay that slightly. We don't need to do it immediately. We can take our time. We can keep building up our science. We can keep building up our culture. We got a few things we can hammer out before we get to that. So yeah, what was I going to do? There was a thing I was going to do. I have a real craving for like a hard cider right now. Oh my God, I've become a drinker. I went on one drinking weekend, and now, did I really want like a craft cider? So we got the Archaeological Museum in Zhaoding. Did you ever get cravings for things? Is that just a me thing? I'd surely sitting around and it's like you could almost taste the cider. And it's not even that it tastes good, it's just that you want to taste it. I get cravings for chocolate. Dark chocolate and peanut butter combined. Oh my God. I was watching YouTube shorts, and I discovered that German people call their phone Mein Handy, courtesy of Stephen Fry on QI. Mein Handy. Dude, German people are so camp without trying. It's amazing. Where's Mein Handy? Yeah, I will call it on my handy. How cute. German people are cute. All of you. Every single one of you. Let's go ahead and yoink a farm for this city. So that has +1 housing. And we'll give this a little bit of stuff. I don't know. I think somehow the really like cuteness of German people and their cute little accents kind of makes that whole, I think I'm talking, it makes that whole experience a lot more terrifying. It's like, yeah, I'm not even going to do the bit. That's too spicy a bit. Not for a casual YouTube video. You can go to a different channel for that one. I don't know. Look, here, I'll do the bit, okay? There's this like, the way people talk about it is it's like, oh man, the Germans during World War II, they were like, they say, and like this video of like, Adolf giving his speeches. But in reality, they were probably just sitting around and be like, yeah, we must get rid of them. They must go. It's like, Jesus. And somehow that's more terrifying. It's like why German people were always like villains in movies. Up to a certain point. Like, remember, was it Hans Gruber for, oh my God, what was it called? Oh God. What was it called? Oh my God. Why can't Die Hard? It's like one of the... Now, this is going to ignite a fire in the comments section. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? That is a really important question because I got opinions on that. And before I give my opinion, I want you to pause this video, go down to the comment section and type up your answer. Because in my opinion, Die Hard is a movie set at Christmas, but that's not why it's a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie because I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Morbus, as my witness, how often do I get called in the middle of recording? Everyone calls me. I don't know why. Stop calling. No, I don't mind. But it's not a Christmas movie because it's set not at Halloween. It's not a Christmas movie because it's set during Christmas. It's a Christmas movie because it's got that holiday cheer. Ho, 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 mother effer, all that stuff. Beautiful. Okay. Who, like, in my opinion, John McClane, and I'll get dragged in the comments for this. You know what? They rejected his message. Let him cook. Okay. John McClane is Santa Claus. I don't care what you guys say after this point. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But John McClane is Santa Claus in the first Die Hard movie. Okay. Because what does Santa Claus do? He gives you what you want. And also, this also forks into Louis Brindley's theory that Santa Claus is actually God, but that's like the next layer up. You guys aren't ready for that conversation. Let's just stick to the John McClane is Santa Claus, okay? We're not ready to get to John McClane is God by proxy of Santa Claus being God, right? But John McClane is Santa Claus because he gives you what you want for Christmas. And what those people wanted in that building was to get out of that terrorism situation alive. And what did he do? John McClane came in and he gave them the greatest gift of all, their freedom. Okay. So by that logic, in my opinion, John McClane, he's Santa Claus. And you'll have to ask Louis Brindley of the Yogscast his Santa Claus is God question. But next time the Yogscaster stream, like next Monday or whatever, go to the Armchair Admirals chat at the Yogscast and ask, can you explain your Santa Claus is God theory? And I'm sure he will be happy to oblige you. And then ask him, has he considered the implications that John McClane is Santa Claus and therefore John McClane is God? Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode right now. We have managed to get exactly where we need to be. We're up to 600 science per turn. What we really just need to do is to get up to democracy, get up to nuclear program, then democracy, and then shunt our way towards globalization so we can pick up the International Space Station. And then really, it's just a matter of very casually launching these Earth satellites once we finish the Broadway. So that's basically it. We got one episode left, and it'll be a quick old space racy one. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.